You know that moment when you're staring at your laptop thinking, I know I need to post something, but what do I even say? Or when you record a podcast episode and then immediately second guess, was that helpful? Did it even connect? If that's been you lately, you're not alone. And this episode is going to bring some clarity and calm. Today, we're talking about a concept I call content buckets, and not in the generic themes for your Instagram grid kind of way. I'm talking about a system that can guide your content with more purpose, more precision, and yes, more ease. So cozy up, take a deep breath with me, and let's map it out together. Welcome to Heart-Led CEO, the podcast for women wellness entrepreneurs who are ready to build, scale, and automate their businesses without sacrificing their soul, sanity, or authenticity. I'm Anacani Walters, a nurse turned entrepreneur, military spouse, first-time mama in my 40s, and a recovering burnout survivor who's making it a mission to help heart-led women just like you create thriving businesses that really feel good, do good, and give you the freedom that we all deserve. Because here's the thing, you don't have to hustle harder to succeed. You don't have to drown in tech overwhelm or try to do everything alone. And I'm here to give you the strategies, automation tools, and mindset shifts that will help you step fully into that leader, CEO, and impact maker that you are meant to be. If you're ready to grow your business in a way that aligns with your values and your life, you are in the right place. Let's get into today's episode. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Welcome back to another episode of the Heart-Led CEO. I hope you're doing wonderful wherever you're listening from. So we are in this beautiful cohort for the Alchemized Content Method. And oh my gosh, it is so amazing the transformation that everyone's having. And what is now starting to come up, which most people actually miss, and my students are actually really going in depth with this, is that your content isn't just about showing up. It's about guiding your audience on a journey. And your content buckets, they're these pathways. Inside of my course, the Alchemized Content Method, I teach the content buckets as intentional categories that do one thing. And they all basically help your audience shift a belief or take the next step that aligns with your offer. And it's not about being everywhere. It's about being strategic with your heart and your voice and your message. And each bucket should tie back to either a common belief your audience holds, a transformation that they crave, or an invitation into your work. And well, it starts with knowing your dream client, which we go really in depth in the first week of the 4-week course that we are pretty much halfway through. Because before you build the buckets, you've got to know who you're speaking to, not just female coaches in their 30, which is a really common response when you ask somebody who's your ideal client, but real, like nuanced humans. What makes them pause? What lights them up? What makes them angry? What beliefs are they holding that are keeping them back from investing, trusting, or evolving? And in the Alchemized Content Method, we map out what's called a belief tree, a tool that I adapted from my coach, Molly Mahoney. And it's honestly one of the most powerful exercises I've ever used. It really helps you see what your audience believes now, what they need to believe to take the next step, and what kind of content will help them get there. So when you map your content buckets from their belief shifts, everything clicks. And so here's the thing. Content fatigue often comes from trying to create on the fly, or in most of the people that I work with, reinvent the wheel every week. But with clear content buckets, you know what you're talking about, why it matters, and how it's supposed to tie back to your offer. So let's take an energy healer, or not an energy healer. Let's take a tarot reader, like a coach. And it can work for either an energy healer or a tarot reader. But if we used my method of the content bucket sorter, it would come out with a value-driven teaching bucket, a belief-shifting truths bucket, a story moments bucket, a quote or soundbite gems, and then some soft sell call to actions. And when you really start to break it down, that value-driven teachings, the purpose of that bucket is to establish your expertise by giving those tangible tips or those frameworks or the intuitive teachings that you just share, like how-to rituals or how to cleanse your aura, how to read a simple 3-card tarot spread. You can do myth busting in your field with spiritual energy. You can do screenshots or demonstrations like when you're pulling your oracle cards or doing your altar setup, okay? And then we have the belief shifting truths. This distributes those limiting beliefs of cultural narratives, holding your audience back. An example would be like talking about common spiritual myths, like being spiritual means always being peaceful, or your inner work truths, or your mindset reframes. And then you would have your story moments. This builds trust through vulnerability, relatability, and emotional resonance. We talk a lot about the power of story and how stories help people relate to you faster. It builds that trust super faster because then they can see themselves in you and your transformation. And they'll be like, oh, well, if she did it, like, then I can do it. You know, how you discovered like either tarot or energy healing. Maybe with your permission of your clients, talk about a client transformation. Show them behind the scenes from either your rituals or your readings. And then, you know, you can share like vulnerable shares from your own personal experience or spiritual path. And then you have your quote or your sound bites. This just distills your voice and your wisdom into like short, punchy lines. Again, just gets them used to you. Quotes from your own content, maybe phrases from client sessions, affirmations or reminders. And it just gives them this little bit of you so that they can start to see whether or not they like how you speak or how you teach or how you read or whatever. And then you have those soft sell call to actions or invitations, which are really just gentle invites that your audience needs to go deeper with you. And you're not being pushy or salesy here. You're just sharing. If this resonates, post that lead to a freebie or a session or an offer. Testimonials are huge because they show people that you have experience in actually making the promises that you're trying to tell them that you give as a transformation. You can give them like just reminders of your current offer or booking window. You can do mini teachings that segue into a lead magnet or a promotion. And so that's how we start to tie in those content buckets, because then you'll have a rhythm, a pulse, and then your content starts to feel like this natural conversation and not just like a guessing game. And if you can tie those buckets with a common theme for the whole month, then it really makes the magic happen, because you can use a few long form pieces to really create most of the content for your month of content. And so one of the the women coaches in the beta round of the ACM was like, before this, I was just posting what I felt like that day. And now I know exactly what belief I'm speaking to. And it's wild to see how much more they feel confident and excited about what they're posting since we started just a few weeks ago. And so if you're listening to this thinking, I want that rhythm, like I want to speak to the right beliefs in the right way, then you'll love that I'm going to be having a next live round of the Alchemized Content Method. It's coming in July. The waitlist is open now, so you can hop on if you want first access. I only accept 30 women because I like to make the cohort small. It just gives me the capacity to be able to know everybody in there and make sure that we all connect and that I can follow you and all of that stuff. And then I'll make sure that the link is to the show notes. I have some resources that you can find on my website. If you're not there yet, completely understand. It's not necessarily something that's for everyone, but it is something that's super powerful. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with me to listen to this episode. And if you're ever in need of any support, or you have any questions, or you would love me to record an episode of what's, something that you're struggling through, always reach out to me. I'm happy and excited to hear from you. And next, we're going to be talking about the voices in your head. If you're looking to see what we're coming up with next in the next episode. I'm doing a full episode on self-sabotage, especially in your business and in your content, because your inner critic isn't just messing with your mindset. It tends to mess with your marketing too. And so remember, you do not need more content. You need a clear way to channel your message. And content buckets, when they're built from belief and not just buzzwords, really can give you that. And know that your voice isn't just noise. It really is guidance. It's medicine. It's a bridge to help the people that need you to serve them the most. So stay beautiful, stay you, keep leading from the heart, and I will catch you in the next episode. All right, beautiful. That's a wrap on today's episode. But before you go, let's talk about something really important. You are not just another entrepreneur trying to figure things out alone. You are a wave leader, someone whose work is meant to create real impact, touch the lives of others, and make this world better. And I want you to know you don't have to do it alone. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to keep this energy going inside of my free Facebook community, Empower Her Biz Collective. It's where we take these conversations deeper with live trainings, tech walkthroughs, and real heart-centered support from other women wellness entrepreneurs who really get it. So if you're ready for community, clarity, and support as you build your own business with heart and ease, I'd invite you to come and join us. You'll find the link in the show notes. And hey, if you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review if you feel inclined, and share this with a fellow heart-led women entrepreneur so that we can build this movement together. Until next time, keep leading with heart.